Hey guys, it's been a long time since I've done a video. I just wanted to show you where I'm at right now. We're just having a little getaway for a couple of days at Lake Arrowhead. The sun is out, it's going down, it's just so peaceful. There's a little loud, some noise activity out there. I really wish I could show you how beautiful it was to actually be here. Anyways, my son is holding the camera so I can do a little video that I've been wanting to do for 3 months now. Shetland Wool Week is going to be introducing their new hat pattern for this year on June 2nd. So maybe this is a really good time to share the last 3 hats that I knit for Katie's cap, the pattern that came out for Shetland Wool Week in 2020. So this one was the last one I did, and I'm so happy with the way it turned out. I used a mini skein set of 6 from Fiber Story, and it's in the Bramble colorway. And I don't know if you guys can see the crown. I don't know if my son needs to lift up so you can look down at the crown. There we go. So I haven't blocked it or anything, but I did share this on Instagram. The light looks a little dull here. The sun is really going down. It's more like dusk right now. But I really love this yarn. I know people aren't fans of superwash wool. There's a lot of controversy about all the processing that goes into it. But it is the softest yarn, and it is not hairy like the Marie Woolen yarn, so you don't really have a halo effect going on, and it is so soft. It's actually 100% superfine merino, and it feels like cotton to me. I mean, it's so soft, but it's not slippery like alpaca, and so there's just enough friction between the yarn and the needles to be able to do colorwork knitting. And so I have been on a quest to try every brand of yarn I can get my hands on, figuring out what kind of yarn I use for colorwork knitting when the weather rarely gets colder than 60 degrees where I live all year long, 60 degrees Fahrenheit. So this Fiber Story yarn was absolutely the best yarn I have found so far. The one thing I learned with this set is that there were 3 skeins of dark and 3 skeins of light. And you can see I didn't have a lot of contrast here. And so what I realized is that you really have to use the darkest colors against the lightest colors. I was somehow trying to aim for a gradient, which was, now that I've done it, I realize was a really bad idea. But the situation with these 6 mini skeins is that the 3 darkest colors are so close in color to one another that you can barely tell them apart. And so they don't really contrast well if you're going to use them in a motif like this. I did use the lightest dark color and then the darkest dark color, and that's what you get right here. So anyways, I did do a post on my Ravelry account if you want to learn more details about that. I haven't sewn in the ends or blocked it or anything like that, but if you're looking for a yarn for knitting in the summer, I think you could knit with this without your hands getting really hot and sticky up to about 70 degrees. So for me, I just try to knit early in the morning, and or late at night, I can still kind of do it with this yarn. So super cool yarn. And then I wanted to show you, so this was Katie's cap, and then I just randomly ordered some Marie Woolen British Breeds wool in these colors, these purple colorways. And I was just curious, what did they look like and how can I just play around with them? So I went ahead and made 2 hats. This hat was another Katie's cap, and literally I just used these 3 colors, which are her blue purple tones, for the pattern colors, and then I used her undyed color for the background color. And this is what the maybe my son can move the camera a little bit. I can't see very well what you guys are seeing, but maybe lift it up a bit. There we go. So I didn't have a lot of color to kind of work with because I'll tell you in a minute, but to make a long story short, I did realize that you can knit these hats with just 3 pattern colors and a background color, so you don't necessarily have to spend the money to go all out and buy 6 colors for your pattern work and, you know, 1 color for your background. It was just first time it just made it so much more affordable. So you know, it's kind of hard sometimes to justify spending $75 on a hat and then having all that leftover yarn. So I felt really like a big reward realizing that you could do that. I haven't blocked this, so I'm just kind of simulating what it would look like if it's blocked. So this is a rather purpley hat, and I think, you know, not too many people are going to wear all purple like this, but I just was having fun checking out this color from her line because I really loved her warm tone colors. And I have photos of this same hat and all of her warm tones from Marie Wallin, and those were my absolute favorite. So she has two other sets of purples that are more reddish purples, and I did the Katie's Cap and the reddish purples, and then I tried to incorporate some pink and blue tones. And see if my son can raise that a little bit. So I kind of was pretty happy with the way that was turning out, especially this section here. I was super happy with this section here. And I put the lightest tones in the back and the darkest tones up front. And then I reversed it and I felt like the pattern just got completely lost. So this was all completely improvisational. I didn't do any swatching or anything. I loved this light pink color a lot. And unfortunately, I didn't write down what colors I used. And I haven't documented this on Ravelry, but if you just think of, she has two pink colors, which are in here, and she has this one reddish purple color, and she has two blue colors. So that's what's in this hat. Then I worked my way up to the top, and you could see that that light blue and that light pink are kind of pretty together. But when I added so here you can see the blue purples, they just don't really go well with the reddish purples. So this to me was kind of a failure. Just didn't really come out nice. If I really wanted to rescue this hat, I would rip back to here and just stick with these colors, but I ran out. So basically when I realized that, I decided, well, why don't I take these leftover purples and just make a whole new hat? And that's how this hat was kind of decided on. So anyways, I don't know, maybe I'll just hold this up to the lake so you can kind of, maybe you can see it in a slightly different light. And I took a really neat picture of this hat at the beach. We were in Laguna Canyon and it was sunset, and it just was glowing with pink. It was just so pretty. It looks so dull here. So anyways, I just wanted to do this video for the longest time. Now that I've got it done, I feel so much better about putting everything away, and I don't have to worry about sharing it now. And I really love to just share so people can get ideas for what yarns you can use for these really fun, simple, fast, easy hats. And I do know that someone did a knit along for the Katie's Cap, so if you get stuck with the crown, there's a super awesome tutorial out there. So anyways, thanks for watching, you guys, and I don't know when I'll post again, but see you on the next one.